Ladies and gentlemen, this is what wrestling at the Grandel is all about. The world's best athletes coming together in a beautiful venue under the bright lights in main event action. And this is that contest. This is your Grandel Wrestling main event. Speedball Mike Bailey going one-on-one with the stiff Robo Ginger Gary effin' J. Show respect from Mike Bailey. This is one of those contests, I think, a handshake up top, a lot of respect on both sides. That's all gonna go out the window with the first strike. A couple of noted strikers. Much more mixed martial arts background for Mike Bailey. Likes to employ a lot of kicks. You can see his kick pads, no shoes. He is ready to come in and take somebody's head off with his feet. Gary J, you know he's all about the strikes and the chops. The toughest forearms in the world. Oh, extended handshake here. They both men kind of feeling each other out, not wanting to trust the other one to make a clean break here. And here we go. First strike, and now it's going to come hard and heavy. There we go. Mike Bailey with the upper hand, folks. They're just laying out, letting you hear the meat slapping against meat as these two men teed off on one another. And Mike Bailey with the first moral victory of this matchup here as he topples Gary J. Gary J, elusive, goes for a schoolboy. Mike Bailey rolls through, big chop, sends Mike Bailey to the ground. Gary looking for those patented dives. Mike Bailey had it scouted, but Gary saw him evade a little early. So now we're in a strike battle on the outside. A couple of veterans of this game. They may have traveled different paths, gone different ways, but both men, veterans of the squared circle, world traveled. Gary J, with those gunshot-like chops. Speedball, good job from Speedball to goad him in and then block that chop, and there's a big punt kick right to the spine of Gary J. That kick, I mean, not only does it hurt on impact, but that kick to the spine, that sends tingles down your limbs. Gary J avoided getting a suplex on the outside, and Mike Bailey gets hit with a tornado DDT. He ends up in the first row at the Grandel. Gary J able to escape into the ring, has the high ground now, so he can take a breather, plan out his next attack here on Mike Bailey. That might be it, though. This could be a count out. Mike Bailey is still struggling to get to his feet in the first row at the Grandel Theater. Gary not content with a count-out victory, going out to help Mike Bailey along. In doing so, he concedes the ring to Mike Bailey, and maybe there was a little bit of a possum situation as Mike Bailey exploded and is now in firm control. Gary J may have our first major mistake of the matchup here. And now Mike Bailey teeing off on Gary J. Those kicks, and Mike up to the top rope. Gary struggling to find his footing. Knees to the back of the head of Gary J. as Mike Bailey flies through the air. This is the type of contest between two veterans, guys that are so smart, have seen it all and done it all, You cannot afford even the slightest mistake. And Gary J going out to get Mike Bailey and throw him into the ring was a massive mistake. And now Mike Bailey is in control. Bailey deposits Gary J right under that top rope. Double knees off the springboard. 1, 2. My gosh. That caved Gary J's chest in, but somehow he was able to find the strength to kick out. Gary reeling them. It all goes back to that decision to go out and get Mike Bailey. Maybe Mike Bailey knew that Gary J had too much pride to win by countout. And these strikes from Mike Bailey are thunderous. As hard as Gary chops, as hard as Gary may punch and forearm, the kicks from Mike Bailey are just as strong. These knees from Mike Bailey are just as strong. Here you see again, sends Gary to the ground. 1 and 2. Barely a 2 count. 1, 2. I don't even know if he's getting 2 on those. Knees to the midsection. 1, 2. Mike Bailey just chucks Gary J out to the outside. Gary sneaks back in though. Lightning speed kicks from Mike Bailey. Gary trying to protect that midsection, leaves his head open and eats an enziguri from Mike Bailey. Gary stops himself short. Nice counter from Gary J. Mike Bailey sent to the outside. He too able to get back in before Gary can capitalize, but there's a big clothesline, and that might even the score. Gary J, for the first time since that crucial early error, has even the odds and has a chance to get back in the driver's seat of this contest. And Gary trying to use his secret weapon. Nobody has more of a following on his side than Gary J. This crowd at the Grandel Theater trying to will Gary J back in control of this matchup. Running chop followed by another thunderous chop to the chest. My God. Tax day's coming up, and Gary's got all his receipts for those kicks from Mike Bailey. I want to chop to the inside of the thigh of Mike Bailey. Dumped with a Death Valley driver. 1, 2, no! Gary cannot afford to give Mike Bailey a breather here. He is in control. But for how long? He goes for fireman's carry. Mike slips out. Spin kick to the midsection. That axe kick across the back. All those kicks from Mike Bailey have been focused on the ribs on the back and the midsection on the front. Shooting star press. 1, 2, no. Mike Bailey's damage is not just causing physical hurt to Gary J, but it is ruining his cardiovascular conditioning here. If you can't breathe, you're not going to be able to continue in the matchup, and Mike Bailey is slowly eating away at the lungs of Gary J. Every kick to the midsection. I thought that was going to be it there. It looked like the finishing sequence from Mortal Kombat there. Mike Bailey misses, and now Gary J able to counter and give himself a little more time to get his win back here, and that's going to be the key. Can Gary J continue to get full breaths? Can Gary J keep himself in this matchup with possibly damaged ribs, back, midsection, lungs? Those kicks have been eating away at the midsection of Gary J. Mike pulls him out. Off the rope. Speedball comes through with a big dive. Gary caught him, but Mike able to send Gary into the ring. Gary comes out for a big dive. His lands flush. Gary rolls Mike in, but a big counter, and Mike lands a dive. These two guys giving it all they've got here in the main event at Grandel Wrestling. Another big Gary dive. Gary this time follows Mike up to the apron with a big boot. Mike Bailey with a moonsault to the outside. What incredible athleticism from Speedball Mike Bailey. And now both men are down on the stage here at the historic Grandel Theater. Crowd showing respect to both of these combatants. They are clearly leaving everything they've got in the ring and all around the ring here tonight. This is the type of matchup, folks, if you're watching this on YouTube, this is why you gotta mark your calendars every April for Grandel Wrestling. Both guys barely getting to beat the count. Gary and Mike squaring off on the apron here. Both men have a penchant for the risk-taking nature of this sport. Chops and kicks abound, both men dealing with their strengths. My God, that kick. I don't know how Gary is absorbing these kicks. I don't know how Mike Bailey's absorbing these chops. These guys going toe-to-toe here. Neither one wanting to give an inch to the other. Gary gets in some rapid-fire strikes, almost sends Bailey into the ring. Fourth time's the charm, sweeps the leg. Danielson would be proud. And now Mike Bailey. Oh my God, a backflip into double knees again to the midsection of Gary J. A flawless game plan here tonight from Speedball Mike Bailey. Bailey trying to set Gary up for something on the top rope. Gary was fighting back, but that enziguri will stop you right in your tracks. A justified "this is awesome" chant, as the kids say online. Gary looking to get the upper hand here. Oh my God! A float over powerbomb from the top rope. And that might put Gary J right back in this thing. Speedball's head careened off the mat. Both men are down. Referee beginning a 10 count. Crowd trying to will Gary J up. And he needs every bit of support he can. He's taken so much punishment in this matchup, but any hopes of him winning rely on him following up on that huge power bomb up the top rope. Gary stalking Mike Bailey as they both reach their feet. Neither man fully in control of their bodies here. Big chop sends Mike Bailey right down to his back. Talked a lot about pride here tonight. Gary wants to prove that he's the best striker. I don't know about that plan. He's absorbed so much punishment tonight. Big chop to Mike Bailey. Those chops are like death by 1,000 cuts. Each one sings a little bit more. Again, kick right to the midsection, right to those ribs. Huge chop. You see Gary readies himself. He's trying to block that midsection. Chop right back. Here we go. These guys just teeing off on each other. Gary leaving himself unprotected here. Insane exchange here. Now each man evading. Big punch from Gary J. Bailey rides the momentum. There it is. Big double stop back of the head. 1, 2. No! No! did Bailey pull that from? That double stop to the back of the head has taken out some of St. Louis's best. He was looking for the discus forearm. Ate a kick. Here comes Mike Bailey. Huge spin kick in the corner. Now Bailey has victory in his sights. Shooting star knees. 1, 2, no! Gary J with an equally miraculous kick out. Ladies and gentlemen, you have to hand it to both of these world-class athletes. Both refusing to say die. Mike Bailey, innovative pretzel up there. Gary refuses to release. Mike going for those spinning knees again. One to the well, one too many times. Gary, big chops. Mike Bailey challenging Gary to bring it. Both men hitting their heaviest. Gary off the ropes. Mike Bailey with a standing side kick. Big forearm, not getting it. 1, 2, 3.